All right, y'all. Welcome to High Disc Golf YouTube. I am Nolan. I am a 966 rated MPO player here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I've been on the team, I guess, since the original 13 players that were on the team. I'm going to do a quick in the bag. I have the new High Disc Golf disc in the bag, so I'll go through that and just everything else I'm throwing. I am all Prodigy except for High, so just so you know ahead of time. Quick shout out. Post Up Canopy Tours for sponsoring me this year, along with High Disc Golf. I'll also be repping loot bags on my jersey throughout the rest of the season. So yeah, thanks to everybody that supports, and thank you Jericho for allowing us to rep such a cool brand with such a strong passion for the community. So we'll start with putters, and then we'll move up slow to fast. I feel like that's how every in the bag goes, but it just makes sense. So to start off, I putt with PA3 300 softs. These are Isaac Robertson stamp from 1010 Discs. I love the PA3. I'm a heavy spin putter, and here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where it's windy, these work really well. They have nice fade at the end. I bag an old 300 soft putter that I used to putt with as a throwing putter. This one flies pretty straight. It'll flip up a little bit, and it'll hold the turn if I throw it on any. But I like it because it's that nice soft plastic. It just hits and sits, which is very nice here. Two other putters that I have are a 300 PA3. This is my flippier putter. It's actually flippier than my warped 300 soft one, but I can throw this thing flat and it'll turn. A big part of my game is just throwing things flat and letting the disc do the work, so you'll see a lot with the disc I throw for that. I also bag a P model OS. Jericho actually gave me this one for free, which is shout out to that guy. I throw this on fan grips, up shots when it's really windy. It doesn't see a lot of use, but when it does, it's super helpful. We'll go overstable to understable. So I have a fresh 500 A2 in the bag. I don't think I'll ever get rid of the A2. It's super reliable. I strictly throw it on forehands. The 500 I use for skips and off the tee. And then I have a fractal one that I use for up shots. I can throw it on spike hyzers or just kind of low line drives, and it hits the ground and just stops because of how tacky it is. So the A2 is a great disc. If you've never thrown one, you definitely should. I bag two High Disc Golf Companions. This has become my new favorite disc in the bag. It holds whatever angle you put it on. It's super torque resistant. It doesn't hold anhyzers really well. This blue one I'm trying to throw a lot to beat it in. And then this Nightbound one is going to be my straight guy. But right now I have them both in the bag just so I can feel them out, see how they work, and then beat one in. But these things are great. Definitely go over to High Disc Golf and pick one up. I feel like any level can use this disc. Incredible disc. It's a 4-speed 0-1. It flies more like a 0-2. It's just pretty straight. The other approach disc I have in my bag, I put it in with my mids because it acts as a forehand mid for me, but it's the distortion. Basically, it's a zone. I can get it to turn a little bit. This one's a little beat in. But besides the A2, this is the only other approach disc I forehand. So it just feels really good for those 300 to 350 forehand shots that I need some control on. If I have a gap, I typically pull this guy out. I bag 4 mids. The first being an MX1. This thing is super beefy, straight out of Luke Humphrey's bag. He gave it to me when he came to Tulsa one day. This is the only mid I actually forehand. And it goes just a little bit further than my distortion or my A2. So if I just need a little extra distance, but I don't want to go up to a fairway, I'll pull out the MX1. Great for spike hyzers too on backhand. I bag a Isaac Robertson Archive for my stable backhand disc. I also have a 500 one, but this 400 just feels really good and tacky. So yeah, any wind fighter mid-range shots, I'll pull that out. And then 2 staples in my bag are these 2 M3s. The Spectrum one is pretty straight. I can throw it on a little bit of hyzer, it'll pop up and turn a little bit before settling flat. And then this bar stamp M3 has probably been in the bag the longest, and it's my turnover disc. Anything I need a backhand to go right, this is the disc I pull out. Fairways, I have a good portion of fairways. I love fairways. We'll start with most stable to most understable. I bag 3 FX2s. This Waco stamped 500 is super flat. I throw it specifically on forehands that I really need to either throw a flex or I need it to get right on a skip. This Domier FX2 is my backhand control driver. I can throw it on a touch of anhyzer and it'll flex out nicely. It also has a little bit more glide than that Spectrum or the 500 one, so I can throw it high and it'll really push and get left. This Red FX2 Gray gave me, after I lost the clear 400 team stamped one. This is kind of my do-it-all fairway. It's got some stability to it, but I trust it in pretty much every situation, forehand, backhand. I throw this thing so much during any round. Next is my F2's feedback. I kind of classify the feedback as an F2 because it flies like the old F2 should. The newer F2s are kind of flippy, but I can push the feedback about 350 before it dumps. Very reliable. I even throw it on flip up forehands. It's an incredible feeling disc, super comfortable in the hand. And then I back two F2s. The blue one is an old spar stamp, super straight flyer. I can get it to turn. I love this disc in the woods. And then this yellow F2 is a hand-me-down, also from Gray, so shout out Gray. But I can pretty much throw this flat and it'll turn into a roller. Anytime I really need a big old turnover shot, I also throw it for that. It's kind of just a utility disc for me, but it's super nice to have in the bag when I do need it. And then we get to the fun stuff, the drivers. Classify this as a driver, but it's an OG H1. Any Prodigy throwers know that these things are super stable. This thing's almost puddle topped. I strictly use this for super windy days or forehand skip shots. It's a utility disc. It is so stable. I can barely even throw it 100 feet without going left or right. So this thing is always fun to have and very useful when I do need it. And then distance drivers, I have a 500 D1. This is my stable boy. It's well seasoned, but it still has a lot of bite at the end of it. So big headwind shots or forehand flexes, I pull this guy out. I don't like a lot of really overstable stuff, so I throw a lot of like stable-ish to understable things, just the style in which I play, but this thing's all reliable for me. The foul core, I can get to push straighter with a reliable fade. This is a more overstable foul core. Some of the foul cores fly like D2s were a little flippy, but this one's got some stability left in it. Pretty much anytime I really want to crank on one, I pull out the foul core. But the high disc golf Wanderlust has become my bomber disc. So anything I want, just max distance, wide open field, I'm pulling this out. I have two in the bag. This one I'm kind of beating in for y'all. It's gonna be hard to tell the difference, but I'm trying to beat this one in towards a little flippier, and then this one's a little straighter. But these things are so good. Again, any arm speed, any level of play, you can find a use in this disc. These things feel amazing. They have a nice little dome to them. They glide for days, and they're very true to that -1-2 flight number. These things are awesome. And then my last two, this 400G D1, kind of old, but I use this for flip up forehands that I really want to push, or if I want a big old turnover shot. And then I have a team stamped D1 straight out of Parker Welk's bag. And I use this for backhand rollers, forehand rollers, kind of a utility driver for me. It's pretty flippy for a D1, but that's what I use it for. So yeah, that's what I'm throwing this year. I got the Prodigy Apex bag. I also rock with, of course, good old Hole 13 loot bags. These things are awesome. I got a couple extra goodies in the bag, but we won't go through all of that. Shout out again to High, shout out again to Loot, and thank you, Bogue, at Post Oak Canopy Tours. If you guys are ever in the Tulsa area and want to have a good time, hit up Post Oak Canopy Tours for a zipline experience. But yeah, thanks for all the support. I hope to see you guys out on the course.